performance where I come from. So actually the structure of this is exactly what I would look at. So you've got your induction, you've got your training, and you've got your performance, which are all the things which I'll, that I have to look at the connections between. And actually this was a really good tool to be able to use to key stakeholders in the business to show the investment in development. And actually when I stood up there, I thought, I'm almost doing my spiel, but in a very, in a way which actually people can very tangibly see the connection between what happens here if you're investing in one area of your development to what's going to happen to your sales, what's happening to your customers, what's happening to the knock-on effect for all the other departments and teams.
May I ask on the point of covering both, all three, of induction, training and performance, the point was made earlier, Chris was involved with it, was operationally that it could be the line manager, but you've cast your net over the three, which pleases me because I think if you truly put the employee at the centre, then that net should be cast. I can't see how you would do it any other way, but so you seem to have suggested in your role that net is covering all three.
Yeah, and what I also love is at the end when we were talking about the review of performance, and again we're not a top-down organisation. We want people to be in charge of their own objectives, and it was a really clear way that people could talk about actually this is what I've achieved, this is what I'm going to achieve, and giving them back the power to have that conversation. At the same time, like say, having the input of the line manager to guide in terms of the business needs at the same time. So you've kind of then got this blended view of that conversation between the two. And for us, that's something which we're rolling out at the moment is sort of a new performance programme. So we've had a little bit of a gap sort of recently where we didn't want to go down the very formal, here's your objectives, have you met them, green, yes, whatever. And it becoming a bit more here's my objectives that I want as an individual.
That's nice.
Because I want to own that and see how that is adding value to the rest of the business. So it's not just me in my little area. And also in the induction part, what I love is that you can very clearly see the impact of all the different areas that happen in the business. And how, I was saying earlier that we have the same motto, putting the customer at the heart of everything we do. And I think that's very tangible for us everybody who joins us, to understand how that connection, occurs through the whole process and everything that everyone does.
Thank you very much. Just one last question for me, because I've been asked it before from clients, is that to translate what you've seen and heard today and experienced, to turn that into a resource that you could use in the business. Some clients of mine like to create, from what they've seen, their own session plans and script and resources because they feel that's theirs, and I get that and I prefer that because it's very much putting their stamp on it. Other clients want to be given those resources in the form of session plans, just using that as an example. Where are you on that? Are you more like hands-on, let me do it myself, or give me what you've got in terms of sample session plans or something else?
I think, so if I was to go into, talk about this in a session with somebody, I think I quite like that you've given some ideas, but I probably would put my own stamp on it.
Brilliant.
And in terms of delivery, we have a very strong culture and language that we tend to use at River Island.
Which I wouldn't know.
Yeah, so, everything has to link back to, as we were talking about, to the individual. So what's in it for me? Okay, you're speaking my language, you know my struggles, this is what's happening. So I think in that respect I would tend to put a little bit of my own spin, but I love the structure of this, and actually this board and this map I think allows people to very clearly see how all of those things impact on each other. So this I would take and deliver that.
Thank you very much, that's fantastic. Thank you.